Think about the last time someone called you introverted, or impulsive, or deeply empathetic. You probably nodded. Maybe you even took a personality quiz to confirm it. But here is the thing. What if the traits you call you were never really chosen by you at all? What if your personality was locked in thousands of years before you were born, shaped by a world so different from yours that you would not survive it for a single week? That is not a metaphor. That is what the science is starting to suggest. Your personality, your temperament, your social instincts, your risk tolerance, the way you respond to strangers, the way your gut twists before a crowd, all of it has deep roots. Roots that reach back not to your childhood, not to your parents, but to the Pleistocene, to a time when your ancestors were small bands of hunters moving through tall grass, watching the tree line for things that wanted to eat them. You are not a modern person with ancient quirks. You are an ancient person living in a modern world. Let that sink in for a moment. Psychologists have spent decades trying to explain why people are so different, why some people crave novelty while others freeze at the thought of change, why some people can walk into a room full of strangers and feel electric, while others feel like they are being slowly erased. The most widely accepted model today, the Big Five, sorts personality into 5 dimensions: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. These traits appear across virtually every human culture that has been studied. They show up in surveys from Tokyo to Tanzania to Toronto. They are not a Western invention. They are something deeper. And here is where it gets strange. In 2014, psychologist David Buss at the University of Texas published research suggesting that many of these personality dimensions are not just universal, they are evolutionary adaptations. Traits that look like quirks from the outside were actually solutions. They were answers to specific survival problems that your ancestors faced every single day. Take extroversion. In the modern world, extroverts are described as outgoing, energetic, socially dominant. But go back 10,000 years, and that description looks very different. An extrovert in a hunter-gatherer band was someone who sought status, forged alliances, initiated contact with other groups. They were the ones willing to walk into the unknown and talk to strangers. That was dangerous. That took something. And the bands that had individuals willing to do it, to scout, to negotiate, to charm rival tribes, had a critical advantage. They got access to more resources, more mates, more information. Extroversion was not a social preference. It was a survival strategy. Now look at introversion through the same lens. Introverts in modern life are often seen as shy, drained by social interaction, preferring to stay in. But what evolutionary purpose does that serve? Anthropologist Nettle at Newcastle University has argued that introversion reflects a heightened sensitivity to reward and punishment signals. A brain that is more careful, more threat-aware, more prone to sitting with information before acting. In a small band of 30 people where a single wrong decision could get everyone killed, that kind of person was not a burden. They were essential. They were the ones who said wait, who noticed the signs others missed, who kept the group from walking into something it could not walk out of. Your personality type is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. And it goes deeper than just extroversion. Think about neuroticism, the tendency toward anxiety, emotional instability, negative thinking. It sounds like a disadvantage. But researchers at the University of Liverpool, including evolutionary psychiatrist Randolph Nesse, have proposed what he calls the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that only goes off when there is an actual fire would be useless. You need it to go off too often. You need false alarms. Because in a world where missing a real threat means death, the cost of being too anxious is far lower than the cost of not being anxious enough. Neurotic individuals in ancestral environments were more vigilant. They scanned for danger constantly. They prepared for worst-case scenarios. They survived situations that calmer, more relaxed individuals did not. Your anxiety is not a glitch. It is an heirloom.